All right, everyone, welcome back to the PigSkin podcast. This is episode 6. This is our college football week 7 recap and NFL week 6 recap. Again, my name is Dalton. This is my partner in crime, Sebastian. And let's go ahead and jump into it, man. What are your instant thoughts on OU and UCF?
So when you're first watching the game, it's kind of a tough watch. Like too close for comfort. But let's relax, okay? We got the win, 7-0. Oklahoma is 7-0, okay? They are 7-0. So let's relax, okay? There was a lot of good stuff. Defense was awesome. They forced they forced a 3 and out in 4 series. The offense stunk. It happens. I'm just gonna throw this out here. I would rather have 2 weeks of shitty offensive play rather than an entire season of the defense just stinking like in the past. At least we know our defense is good. I mean, that's a thought. Stutzman, he's the man, future Butkus Award winner and host, or not host, but guest on the podcast. Maybe. But hey, listen, I'm okay with it. Now that we've got the win, we settle down. Oklahoma's going to go to Lawrence. They got to play Kansas. We should be fine. Maybe we'll be fine. The offensive line still stinks.
And the run game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sawchuk, hey, he was all right. I will say this. You know what's really cool about Oklahoma? You need them the most, like, when it's down to the wire. They can score in the fourth quarter. All right, Texas, and then this game against UCF.
For sure.
Now, points, I mean, you probably should have scored more. I don't think UCF's defense is very good. But, I mean, hey, it is what it is. Humble reminder that, hey, any given week, it's college football. It's crazy. We had a lot of crazy games. But Oklahoma is 7-0. The defense still looked awesome. Forget about that last touchdown. The one that made it 31-29. They weren't set. I don't know if you saw that, but when UCF scored that last touchdown, the defense wasn't set.
No, they weren't. And it was a brilliant play call because essentially what they did is they weren't set. Obviously, you saw really Billy Bowman and the guys on the back end were kind of talking, trying to figure out what they were going to do. And then they ran a bunch of crossers to kind of set natural picks for each other. And Billy knew what was coming, but instead of going back around, he tried to get on top of him and hit and get with him, but he ran into a receiver. So he had to go under and then try to catch back up to the guy. And he was just – John Rush Plumlee just saw it in time. So great play call.
By the way, I love our safeties. Billy Bowman, dog. Peyton Bowen, dog. I hope he's not hurt because it looked like he was kind of hurt. But, yeah, they're good. But, I don't know. What's your overall thought? You probably watched every single – which I did too. I think there's a lot of players that played good, but I want to hear your thoughts before I give mine.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, again, I completely agree with you. First of all, we're 7-0. That's all that matters. You hear BV and the guys say it every time. We're 1-0 every week. That's all that matters. All right. My whole standpoint of the whole thing is nameless, faceless opponents. You treat every single opponent like it's the number 1 team in the country. Because if you don't, that's where you're going to get bit in the ass. And so you play nameless. You don't even put their fucking logo up there. Who are we playing this weekend? Don't give a fuck. We're going to crush them. It's my thoughts on it. And now we didn't, right? We didn't crush them. Defense, I think, played well enough for us to win by 30. But it is promising to see our offense be able to put up a drive when they need to. It's not the most consistent offense. I think that boils it down to the run game being so inconsistent because essentially a lot of what UCF did was they got in a lot of cover 2 high shell and just kind of stayed back and made them play underneath and or run the ball. Could really do a whole lot of each. Dylan's interception, thought he stared it down and then forced the ball in there. Set Drake up bad to take a shot, and then it just nice play by 10 or whoever picked that ball off. But no, I really want to focus on the defense. Defense bailed us out in this game. Yes, they gave up a lot of chunk plays, but if you take away the deep ball to, or not even the deep ball. It was a fucking route up the side that went for like 80 yards. That passing touchdown that John Rush Plumlee had.
Yeah, I think I don't blame Woody Washington for that. He probably thought there was like a backside safety or something. But the okay, before we like go like super in depth like on the players and stuff, get rid of the taunting penalty. It's stupid. Maybe that's just me. Maybe these guys hit each other.
Yeah, I know. Like the kiss on the sideline. Yes, it should have been a penalty. I would have not wanted to be called though.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yes, it's a rule, but it's bullshit. If I just dust you for fucking 80 yards, yeah, I'm gonna blow your fucking guy a kiss on the sideline. I might blow him when I get to the sideline. You don't know. Pull something out of my pocket like that.
It's us.
Yeah, maybe.
Scumbag.
Yeah, no, but getting back to the defense, I mean, if you take away now, the sprint draw is one of the toughest plays to cover in football. Okay. Now, I watch Eichert and Lehman. Ted talked a lot about it. Quentin Griffin's famous like 300-yard, like 6 touchdown game against Texas back in 2002. They ran the split draw like for the majority of that game. You know what the sprint draw is, right? The quarterback sprints out and hands it off and goes back the other way. It's kind of like a GT counter. It was essentially like the original GT counter. And so it's a zone run, or it's a gap run play, and it's a brilliant run call. I don't know why more people don't do it.
Were you questioning my football knowledge?
A little bit. You're a Bears fan. I have to, man.
We'll talk about that later.
We will talk about that later. But I mean, first of all, UCF is a very talented team. Obviously, we kind of talked about it last week. They're a much different team with John Rice Plumlee playing. But I think when it comes to that long touchdown to Javon Baker, or whatever his name is, not that Plumlee in this game necessarily was a running threat, but his threat to run, I think, is what got us there. Because it was essentially, it's almost like a triple option. It's the RPO, he sprints out the side on the read, and then is supposed to drop the corner in safety and free up the guy streaking up the sideline. That's exactly what it did. Now, in a perfect world, either Woody stays with that guy or him and Reggie are on the same wavelength and Pearson drops. But realistically, if you want anyone to come up and hit the quarterback and someone to cover the damn fucking receiver, you want Woody Washington on the receiver and you want Reggie Pearson, one of the meanest motherfuckers in football, to hit the quarterback, right? And so I think that was just undisciplined, just eyes in the backfield. UCF's got like talented running backs. Like their running backs are good. And so not only were they killing us with the sprint draw, which apparently, according to some of the guys in the locker room and post-game interviews, BV is not going to be happy this week because they practiced that all week. And they still couldn't stop it.
Maybe that has a lot to say with just maybe how good UCF is at running the play.
I mean, well, UCF is one of the best run games in all of football, though, offensively. And so...
Hey, say something nice to Jared Kinnick, because I thought he played good.
I think he played great. He had an amazing read on one of those little quarterback keeper plays where he just blew it up. Trace Ford had another one where he just blew through the fucking tight end that was down blocking and took the fucking running back out. I
texted you when Jared made that tackle. I was like, hey, say something nice about him. I like Jared. He's awesome.
I love Jared. And also the fucking, again with the taunting penalty on the fucking 4th and goal. Bullshit, man. It was setting up 4th and goal. They've been hitting each other all game. It's a physical fucking football game. He screamed in the dude's face. They didn't throw that shit last week. I know OU Texas is different. They're going to let some of that shit go. But like Ethan Downs did the same thing. Jaron Kinnick did the same thing. They didn't throw that shit last week. So I think it's just ticky-tack penalties. You know what I mean?
I think the referees were just so shocked that we almost had a second goal line stand. Like, we're not used to seeing OU have a defense like this. And so the refs were like, well, we can't let this happen again. So they just threw the flag.
It's also Big 12 refs.
Football.
Exactly. No, but I mean,
like racial or like bad slurs. Don't let them say it.
I'll let it go. Just kidding. Don't. I am just kidding. But no, I mean, really looking at the defense, if you take away the 2 or 3 chunk plays, the defensive line controlled the line of scrimmage from the majority of the game. Yeah, they got some stuff on sprint draws. Yeah, they had the long, almost touchdown run. Yes, they had the long play to Javon Baker. Yes, the defense wasn't set on the touchdown, almost tied it. But when they needed to make plays, they made plays, much like the offense. They were inconsistent throughout the majority of the game. I thought that we were just going to run the ball down UCF's throat because they have a very bad run defense and honestly a pretty bad defense in general. Their secondary is not bad. It's the best part of their defense. They were beat up. Their defensive line is not that good. They have talent, but it's not like they're not a cohesive group, is what I'm trying to say. So it was definitely a game where the offense should have scored 50. And if they did, we win that game by 20, 30 points.
And then we talk about OU possibly being the best team in college football.
Yeah. So it's just one of those games. It's just one of those games. It happened all across the country, though. I mean, Washington struggled. UNC lost. OU struggled. Tennessee and Alabama was close. Ohio State, Penn State was close. Obviously, those are much closer matchups. It's just a weird weekend, man. It happens in college football, and especially in these bigger conferences, these bigger time games. It just happens sometimes, and so I'm not taking a whole lot from it. Again, maybe a little bit of a Red River hangover, but I don't think so. I think it was just more so John Rice Plumlee kind of surprised everyone that, his threat to run's a lot more nerve-wracking than most people maybe think. He doesn't have the best arm, but, things happen. And by the way, when Peyton Bowen hit him, I don't know how he held on to that football. He got fucking lit up, dude. So
yeah, for a second there, I thought the football did come out because, like, when you see him coming off the edge and he
Mm-hmm.
hit him, like, that's a fumble, and then he held onto the ball. So credit John Rice Plumlee.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, he looked good. I do want to give credit to Kendall Dobie. Obviously, he's probably never going to see this, but he actually came in. I think he had his best game. I mean,
point conversion, him and Billy Bowman both.
Yeah, no. Also, Woody Washington, brilliant on that 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Because Woody steps up, he realizes what's going on in the second, and then stays back in zone and stays right in front of the receiver. Because if he commits to the running back, 2 points right there.
Yeah.
Because whoever was playing safety on that side was trailing him. They weren't going to catch him. So excellent play by Woody in that moment. But yeah, no, secondary I thought played pretty well. Yes, there were some busted coverages, but I thought it was a good game for us as a whole. I think it's a good learning experience because obviously this team's not perfect. They got a ways to go. The offensive line's still struggling. I know they're dealing with injuries. Running back room's still struggling. They got some stuff going on. We're obviously trying to figure out what to do without Andrell Anthony. I want to see more Brennan Thompson.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what's going on with him or if that's selfish or what, but I want to see more Brennan Thompson. Nick Anderson, 5 catches, 2 touchdowns. I mean, dude's essentially Lee Morris at this point. So didn't look good. He kind of had some weird scramble plays where he tried to come back into the pocket after leaving. That's quarterback, outside of throwing across your body, that's quarterback 101, no go. You know what I mean? You don't leave the pocket and come back. That's just
I think
doesn't end well.
I think he still has a little bit of love for UCF. Maybe he normally out. I think Levy was thinking the same thing. Like, yeah, we're gonna win this game. Let's be now. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe we had this whole thing wrong. Maybe it was a good week to have an ugly win. I mean, you got to look at, let's like you said, across college football, like everybody kind of like a bad win.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a good learning experience though. Like kind of back on what I was saying, because last year, OU loses this game hand over fist easily, and not only loses, OU probably loses this game by 10 or more points. So I mean, for them to be able to come back, be resilient, and get punched in the mouth, be down multiple times, even late in the fourth quarter against a team that you were expected to blow out, it's good to just get a W up there and move on. So
I'm glad you brought that up because that's all I saw on Twitter and like just social media in general. Like everybody was commenting and saying like, "Hey, OU loses this game last year. Blah blah blah. Progress." Okay, I don't know how I feel about that, but here's why. Like, what is the expectation for OU every single year, even after like a bad season? Like, what is your expectation for Oklahoma?
To win every game, play for a conference title, and maybe go to the playoff.
Exactly. That's why I don't know how I feel about that. Like, you can say it's progress, but like going into the season, that was like, if you're an OU fan, that's your first thought is, okay, like, 9 wins isn't going to cut it. Like, the standard's still the same. Like, you go in, you want to win all your games, win the Big 12 conference title, win a playoff game. You're competing for a national championship. So, like, I saw a lot of that, and I was like, how about we, like, I get it. I think it's like a coping mechanism. I don't know. Maybe I have way too much, like, expectation for this team.
No, I certainly hear where you're coming from, and I completely understand. I think it might also be part of a coping because if you, especially on social media, most people that are on there around our age, a little bit younger, maybe a couple years older, they don't remember the last time OU was bad. They don't remember the John Blake era.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so they've never lived that. But the way I see it is, and I don't like it, but I do like it in certain circumstances. Because you look back at like the West Virginia game last year, and I know every year, yes, it may be some of the same players, yes, it may be the same coaching staff, might be the same quarterback. They're two different teams. Every single year is a new team. Team 129 is different from team 128. They're different from team 120. You know what I mean? It works. They're all different.
Yeah.
Completely different. But when you're talking about in a situation like we were in last year with Lincoln leaving, Brent Venables coming in, not having a whole lot of time to recruit, Bob having to step in for the bowl game, huge culture issues beforehand, kind of bringing that back in, a new focus on physicality, a new type of defense, new things to learn. I think that's when you can have those conversations. If you're fucking UMass and you go 0-12 every year, but you go 2-10, you're like, oh, we lose 9 of those games last year. It's like, no, you lost 9 of those games this year. You know what I mean? But when you're Oklahoma and you have a bad season and there was just as much change as there was, it's good to use those little bits of progress to fan the fire, in my opinion. It's going to be like, look, yes, it was a bad look. It wasn't our best game. We lose that game last year. We win it this year. That's because we are growing inside. I think it's more so for the players, and it should be more for the players and the fans because they get to look in the mirror and be like, we lose that last year. Now we're better. This is what championship teams do. They're down in the fucking 9th round. They're on their fucking feet. They get up with 8 seconds to go, and you know you still got a puncher's chance. Not 8 seconds to go. Go 2 seconds before the fight's over. You get up at 8 seconds. You got a puncher's chance. You get your ass back out there and go knock some fucking heads off. That's my standpoint on it.
Okay. I like it. But it's almost loser talk. We're not losers, Dalton. We should have blown them out.
We should have.
Anyways. We'll see what the viewers think.
Also, I do want to say this, by the way. I forget his name, and I'm fucking so sorry. Whoever the guy is punting.
He's awesome.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
5 punts, net average of 50 yards. Dude, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with John Plaster being in there. Or whatever the fuck his first name is. Wall Plaster? I don't know. Paint? Whatever the fuck you want to call him. Sherman Williams? He's never punting that fucking football again in the University of Oklahoma. That other kid is.
Hey, be nice.
No, he sucks, dude. I want Michael Turk back.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Maybe we can get COVID year.
Maybe. I want Sam Bradford's COVID year. That's what I want.
Yeah. Maybe we can just get like Kyler Murray to come back.
Jamel Holloway. I think Bart Starr still got another COVID year in him.
Oh, you know what? Let's be nice to the kicker. Like
Zach Schmidt, he's gonna have him.
He missed 2 field goals, but the offense should have scored points. It should have been 21-0.
You shouldn't have to put that in your kicker's hands. I mean, realistically, you want a kicker that you can rely on in those situations. But his balls look bad. Not his balls, but his kicks look bad, man.
Kicks look awful.
But 90% of them go through. So he's had a bad day, man. You can't be perfect all the time.
Well, now you can lower that to 70% just because of those 2 missed field goals. What's wrong with our offensive line? Like
injuries, cohesion, just can't do it, man. I don't know what's going on.
Tyler Guyton should be like the best tackle we've ever seen.
I don't know.
What's going on?
I don't know, man. I don't. Now, I did hear that Bill Bedenbaugh tore some fucking new ones at halftime. They did look a lot better in the second half.
In the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when we needed it to, But Bedenbaugh, man, he'll light a fire under some asses if he has to, and I think that's exactly what happened.
Well, I thought Walter Rouse played well.
Yeah, no, he did. I don't know, but it definitely seems like our offensive line kind of plays down to competition, which is the one unit you don't want to do that.
I don't know.
But I mean, they're definitely no Joe Moore Award winners. They're not Cody Ford, Ben Powers, and
Music to
Eric Wren and
Creed
Humphrey and Drew Samia, Orlando Brown, Bobby Evans. Bobby Evans was slept on, man.
Mm-hmm.
All them boys. Eric Wren, underappreciated, by the way. Dude is a unit at center. 5'11", 315.
Yeah, dude, he was sick.
He's a beast. You got any other thoughts on the game, though? I mean, like we were saying, yeah, it was a bad look. Wasn't a great game, but win's a win.
Yeah. We need Tawi Walker back. I'm sorry. Gavin Sawchuk, I mean, that was cool. That touchdown run that he had, like, he kind of picked it up, but he just can't run block. I mean, he can't block, like pass block. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, his pass pro isn't too good.
Yeah. He had kind of like a bad beginning, happy ending,
A Deshaun Watson massage.
Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking in my head. That was literally what I was thinking. Oh, man. Yeah, no, at least our defense is great. So
saving grace.
Yeah. Yeah, no, everybody played awesome.
For sure. So let's go ahead and move on. We were kind of wanting to touch on this. The Big 12, man, as a whole.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been throwing hate on the Big 12 last few years. It's the weakest Power 5. First of all, the weakest Power 5 up until this year was the Pac-12. Now it's the ACC. I think the Big 12 is stronger as a whole than the ACC and the Pac. Not the Pac-12. Pac-12 is pretty good, but Big 12 looks pretty good this year, man. I mean, to think about where we were, what it seemed like we were a few weeks back, where Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Kansas State after that loss to Missouri, everyone's like, oh, they're fucking done. It's OU and Texas, and that's it. Texas isn't even number 2 in the conference right now. It's OU, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Texas, Kansas State. Those are the teams that I still think are alive for this fucking thing. Now, Iowa State, Kansas State, and Texas all three play each other. OU and OSU do not play either one of those three. And I think now OU and OSU obviously play each other. If Bedlam goes the way that it should, now obviously OU still has Kansas. Tough game. We got TCU on a short week after going to Provo. Tough game. BYU, sneaky, pretty good team. I mean, they're sitting at 5-2 right now. Real quiet 5-2 team. 2-2 in the conference. Obviously Kansas, another 5-2 team, 2-2 in the conference. Likely to have Jalen Daniels back this week, which is scary.
We're playing LSU.
We might be. Fuck, I wish we'd play LSU. We'd blow them out the water. They couldn't stop shit.
That's their quarterback, right? I'm having a brain.
Jaden Daniels? Yes. Yeah. This is a guy that looks like a rag doll, like a crash test dummy when he gets hit.
Yeah. So we do have to play Jalen Daniels.
I think he's back this week. Which is...
So that means Lawrence Arnold over on yards. Wide receiver.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, no, it's a strong conference. It's definitely not top heavy. I think you see a lot of the 2-2 teams, the 2-3s. Now, Houston, UCF, and Cincinnati, just a bad start in the new conference. BYU's 2-2 in conference. And this always happens with the Big 12, especially because we used to play the round robin schedule. They just eat each other alive. Everyone's like, oh, the SEC, the Big 10 East, they just beat up on each other. Then whoever's left standing after the demolition derby wins. It's like, no, that's the Big 12. They just go shot for shot with each other, beat the shit out of each other, and then someone, usually Oklahoma, comes out at the end. You know what I mean? So, and I say usually Oklahoma because we have 15 titles in a span of 23 years or something like that, 26 years.
Oh, so you're saying we're going to win it this year?
So fuck, we have 14.
No. Go ahead and put the future.
Hey.
We're going to put a future on it.
15 titles in conference. Texas only has 3, by the way. But
Well, then we're going to be joining a new conference, SEC, SEC, SEC.
SEC. We're gonna take over. No, I'm just kidding. Nick Saban, Kirby Smart, please.
No. I think they're on a downward trend. Oklahoma's back.
We're back, baby. You know who's not back? Texas.
Well, they're back to being second place or third. You know what? I think the assumptions are too high right now because after the game, it was Texas and Oklahoma are going to be the two teams that are going to meet again in the Big 12 championship. Are they? Kansas State looked good. I watched that game. That was a shit pumping. They beat TCU 41-3. Actually, shit pumping is kind of an understatement. Like, that was an ass fucking. That was bad.
Got fucked like a stepmom on Pornhub, huh?
You could tell that that was a good one. TCU, they had a freshman quarterback, so I feel bad for him. That was rough. Oklahoma State, they beat West Virginia. Sad loss for West Virginia at home. Dude, Ollie Gordon is the best. He looks so unathletic when he runs. Wonkiest looking runs that I've ever seen him pull off. But like he's doing it behind a really bad offensive line.
You know what he looks like?
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Him and Isaiah Pacheco look like angry toddlers when they run.
But Isaiah Pacheco looks a little bit more athletic when he runs.
Yeah, but it's just he looks like a Tonka truck trying to get going, bro.
Did you ever see like the viral photo of I think it was like some regional college played like a big time school? I can't remember what it was. I think it was last year, but like it was like they had like not even like I don't think they had like good uniforms. They were just like a small college, and the guy on the sidelines, like, there was a photo of him, and he had his like jersey tucked in, and his fucking pants were like up to his torso. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
There's literally that's what I would imagine. Like that guy runs like Ollie Gordon. Like it just he looks so he looks so funny when he runs, but he's churning out like 200 yards a game, like 30 carries, and he's like making people miss. Some of the runs that he made people miss, and then he would do his like clunky runs for a touchdown. But he's good.
Did you see that stat where like him, Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas, and then like I forget that dude that played a few years in the NFL pretty recently. I think his last name was like Daniels or something like that, like Kendall Daniels or something. They all have like the most 20-yard runs like in a season, or he's like tied with them for the most like 20-yard runs in Oklahoma State history or some shit. But like he's up there with like Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders statistically.
He looks massive on the field. He's huge. I looked at his like size. He's only 6'1", 211.
You know what's going to be really fun?
What?
If they get in the goal line stand against us and Kip Lewis just gets to fucking smash him, bro. Like Hamzat Shemaev, I'm going to smash him. Like that type of shit.
He has a really slow like burst, like off the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
Slow. It reminds me of like Kennedy Brooks a little bit. But Kennedy Brooks at least looked like when he ran the ball, it looked like a normal running back. I can't explain Ollie Gordon. He's amazing. But he just runs like me when I'm drunk.
I don't run, so I can't really say anything more athletic than I am. So, but
yeah,
no, I mean,
wide open.
So what?
The Big 12 is kind of wide open in a way.
Yeah,
it's going to be Oklahoma versus Kansas State, Texas, Oklahoma. Not Oklahoma State.
I would love. As much as they've been our kryptonite, mainly because I don't want to play Texas again, which we'll get into the Quinn Ewers AC joint separation or whatever the fuck he's got going on, sprain. As much as they have been our kryptonite, Lincoln Riley is gone. I want Kansas State on December 3rd in Arlington so we can smash that fucking silver and purple helmet into the goddamn turf at Jerry's World. Leave the Big 12 with what's ours and leave that shit in the fucking past. I am so tired of fucking losing to Kansas State. Dude, oh my God. That's the only thing I want this season is to beat Kansas State.
You might have a shot.
I want it.
That's a Brent Venables revenge game.
I want Danny Stunsman to catch Avery Johnson running a boot sneak and to just I want Kobe McKenzie's big ass to catch him on a fucking like a little boot out the other side and to just bury him, bro. That's what I want.
He has a very big ass.
He does. And Avery Johnson is very good, and I'm very worried if we have to play them.
Well, Howard had the touchdowns though.
He did. But Avery Johnson looks good, man. They're going to be set up. They're going to be set up good. I've said it multiple times. I think Kansas State, with Utah and everything coming in, I think Kansas State's going to run the Big 12 after OU and Texas leave.
Yeah, more than likely. But I think we should go ahead and get into Penn State versus Ohio State. James Franklin is now what, like 1-17 or 1-8 Ohio Sate? Is that true?
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's like 1-9, I think, but he's like 3-18 against Ohio State and Michigan altogether.
What are you drinking? Guinness?
Kansas State blood. No, it's sweet tea.
Oh, okay. Looked like a Guinness or something.
I mean, you know where I got this from? I was checking when I first got my office at the credit union. I was going through all the cabinets and everything, and our boss, who shall not be named, the crazy lady, you know who I'm talking about. She was like, "Do you want this?" And I was like, "I mean, I'll take it." And she goes, "I don't ever drink beers this big." And I was like, "Are you sure about that?" And she goes, "I mean, not on company time."
She does.
Oh, 100%. 100%. You know exactly what I'm talking about, too. She definitely does.
Dude, you know what? I'm going to show you my stole that I got from a bar. Yeah, next episode, I'm going to bring it out.
Got you. Next episode, I should have my Danny Stuntsman shirt, by the way.
Nice. I got to order mine still. But Penn State versus Ohio State. James Franklin, okay, OSU, the Ohio State University. They own him. It's unfortunate. Just how it is. One team just has the elite talent. They got Maserati Marv. And when they needed him most, he showed up. Both defenses look good, though.
For sure.
Good. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I kind of knew that going in. I kind of mentioned it last week. I thought this was going to be a war of attrition on both sides, especially defensively. So, I mean, Drew Waller necessarily hasn't had a big game, and Ohio State's defense just kind of kept that going. He was all right. I hear a lot of people, by the way, saying, "Oh, another Big Ten snooze fest." If y'all don't like fucking like Iowa, Minnesota, 10-7, all right. If y'all don't like
Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah, no. You can't enjoy Penn State, Ohio State if you're not going to watch Iowa and fucking Michigan or Minnesota or fucking Nebraska and Northwestern. You can't enjoy that shit, man. That's for football junkies and football junkies only. I'm convinced the Big Ten Conference is for people that enjoy football, and the rest of college football is like for casuals, man.
Dude, the Big Ten's awesome. I love looking at the stat lines after every Big Ten game, and it's like punt, 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 punt.
Seeing one quarterback go like 4 for 17 for like 28 yards and like 2 touchdowns. You're like, how the fuck? And they win like 14-12, and you're like, dude, that's so awesome.
It's smash mouth football.
That's exactly what it is. You turn on Big Ten Network, you go outside of the racism, you go back to like the 40s.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's awesome. We love it. Every year when football's starting back up, we can't wait for the Big Ten. Smash mouth,
man. That's why I love watching Nebraska lose every week.
Yeah, they'll be all right. Drew Waller will be fine.
I think Drew Waller will be fine. I think he's going to be really good. Now, him and Braylon Allen and Nick Singleton are going to have time to grow together. And they already got a top-tier offensive line, which Ohio State kind of worked, man. You know?
Yeah.
Penn State's going to lose their left tackle after this season. But what's crazy is the Big Ten East, they're still completely alive.
Yeah.
Still completely alive. Michigan and Ohio State still got to play each other. Penn State's got to play Michigan. It's setting up to potentially be the chaos theory for all three, man. So, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I just love especially Big Ten football. Yes, it's smash mouth and it's fun to watch, but when it gets into October and November, bro, when it gets cold, they stop throwing the ball over the yard and they get into the like 32 personnel with 3 tight ends and a fullback and a running back, and they just go 32 personnel against Bear and just meet in the middle, man. It's CTE for 60 minutes.
I think that's what OU is missing right now. It's just like they need a fullback. The low man wins. That's what they're missing. They need that Trey Miller, Dimitri Flowers, Aaron Ripkowski, by the way. Great football guy.
Bullfrog, Jeremiah Hall.
Yeah.
You know what they need? I said it earlier in a few podcasts ago. Show Kobe McKenzie back there, man.
Yeah. Throw his big ass back there.
Big ass.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Don't throw it back.
Oh. Starts doing that in the backfield. That's his motion.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's the reality of Penn State versus Ohio State. But good defensive game. You know, I felt bad for Penn State because they had that. It was like a sack fumble that would have made it 10.
Yes.
Yeah, that sucked. Guess who they were holding? Guess what the holding call? Guess who it was on?
It was on Marv.
Yeah, the guy that was holding Maserati Marv. Or should it be Maserati Marv or like Maybach Marvin?
See, I don't know because I'd almost want to go like Mercedes Marv.
Oh.
Because if you think about a Mercedes got the AMG, man. The AMG Mercedes is the race one. No one's racing a Maserati or a Maybach, man. You're racing Mercedes.
Yeah, but a Maybach it's Maybach.
Yeah, but he ain't big. I mean, he's big, but he's not big and bulky and luxury.
Yeah, Mercedes.
He's just a bad motherfucker when he's out there, man.
Yeah. Mercedes Marvin. Okay, that's what it is. Mercedes Marvin. Get it right, Gus.
I'm not going to tell him how to do his job. He's the best in the business. So.
Yeah. Well, he was actually he was excited, right? He hadn't been excited like lately. It's been weird. But like I felt like he was excited.
Well, yeah, he's been going to fucking Colorado games all year with fucking Joel Klatt. Why would he be excited? They're calling the OU game this weekend. OU Kansas is Big Noon kickoff.
Yeah, so he's got a lot to be excited about.
He does.
He does. Drake Stoops.
I want to hear him do the Stoops.
Yes.
That'd be fucking amazing.
Make it happen, Gus.
See, that's one of my favorite things because you know who else used to do that same shit?
Who?
The Packers. When John Kuhn would get the ball, there'd be a 2-yard fullback dive, and for 8 minutes you'd hear Kuhn. Not gonna make the joke I was gonna make. Anyways, so let's continue on to. Do you have any other thoughts on Ohio State Penn State? I thought it was just a good hard-nosed football game and fun to watch. It's a fun change of pace.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a good game, and the Big Ten is still open, like you said. I know you're ready to talk about this game. Do you want to talk about Tennessee, Bama?
My wallet didn't want to.
Yeah, I know. That was crazy. Like 9.5. We were questioning that spread, and we were almost right in the first half. It's like that was a very dumb spread, and then Alabama's defense just it's like they were playing another regional college game. Like what they do in the beginning when they play like the Citadel and stuff, and it's like they're down 7-0, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, Citadel gets up 7-0 on like the first drive, and you're like, oh shit, Bama down again, and then it's like 93-7, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
never mind.
Tale of two halves.
Really a tale of fucking like that's a 4-quarter football game. Okay, that's a 4-quarter football game because for 45 minutes Tennessee not dominated but was winning that football game, and in the fourth quarter. Late third quarter in the fourth quarter, Bama was like, oh, shit, we're Alabama. What the fuck are we doing, man? Let's just go out there and win the fucking football game. And what do? Go out there and win the fucking football game, just like they always do.
Yeah, the sack, scoop, fumble, that really – man, I feel bad for people that bet Tennessee plus 9.5. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't bet that game. I was scared. I like Josh Heupel, but I got to question him. You've got to – Joe Milton's humongous, right? Like, he's huge. Brotherly – 4th and inches. 4th and longer than my dick.
Oh, 4th and 2 inches?
Or I think it was like 3 inches.
Oh, that makes a difference.
Yeah. But you got Joe Milton. He had that awesome bomb to Squirrel White. Awesome football name. Awesome name, by the way, Squirrel White.
Awesome catch on that play, by the way.
Yeah. Awesome name. Awesome football guy. Awesome catch. And then they just couldn't really score in the red zone after that. Well, they were up, what was it? Was it 14-7? At half, it was 20-7. I don't remember 10-7 or 14-7.
I thought they got up 14-0.
Yeah, something like that. But I don't know. And just after that, Bama just dominated the game. I don't think Bama's offensive line is as bad as people make it out to be. Because Jace McClellan, he's running for yards. I mean, he's picking up, he'll have like 5-7 yard runs, maybe even sometimes like 10-yard runs. And they're opening up gaps for him. Like, I watched the Texas game, and then I watched like some of the other Alabama games afterwards. I don't know if Jalen Milroe is comfortable in the pocket.
No, he's kind of like early NFL Lamar Jackson, where he kind of just looks for any reason to escape.
Yeah.
But what is good about him is he'll still keep his eyes downfield because he just wants to throw it all the way across the fucking field. And so here's my thing. You were talking about Tennessee's like kind of bad in the red zone on offense.
Yeah.
And I think they haven't looked that way really for most of the season because they've been able to run the ball whenever they wanted to. Like look at the Texas A&M game. Bama couldn't run the ball for shit against Texas A&M, and Tennessee went for, I think, over 300.
Yeah.
And Alabama shut them down on the ground. But Tennessee, so Josh Heupel wants to run the ball first and foremost.
Yeah.
It's like what early Lincoln Riley was. They want to run the ball first, get momentum going, get the defense to kind of come up and bite a bit, then take your top off. But like what's almost to a detriment with Joe Milton is, yes, he's got a great deep ball and he's got a cannon. But when you get in the red zone and things condense and things get tighter and the windows get smaller and they can't run the ball, that's where Joe Milton's going to struggle. Because he's got the zip and he's got the arm talent, but he doesn't have the accuracy to be able to fit it in the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's got a real small window he's working with. And when he's got a safety closing and the corner's fucking tailing the receiver, he's not going to be able to get it in there consistently. You know what I mean? And that's just a detriment with Joe Milton's game. And I think that's what killed him in this game is when he needed to make throws, not that I guess he couldn't, right? They lost, but that's been Joe Milton's game. That's been his biggest issue with, in my eyes, ever since he's been in college, whether it was at Michigan or at Tennessee, is the tight window, got to have it throws. You can't necessarily make them consistently. So,
well, Bama covered. Did the over happen? 34-20? No,
I forget what the over was.
Yeah, no, it happened because the over under was 48 and it was 54. Yeah,
oh, shit.
In Tuscaloosa. Also, they had a fan get tackled, so we had another incident.
Was that the one where the security guard got up on him and was like, "Yeah"?
I think so. He tackled him. It was like Brian Dawkins type tackle. So we had another one of those. We had one in baseball. Signed the kid, Nick Saban. And I don't know. Do you want to talk about?
Sorry to cut you off. This is completely irrelevant. Speaking of sign the kid, did you hear Kenny Dillingham after the Arizona State Washington game? So he was talking about the struggles they've been having, and their struggles, and they can't trust their kicking game. Not because of their kicker, they don't have enough big bodies to be in there to block. He was literally in the post-game press conference, and he was like, "Hey, if you're walking around Arizona State's campus and you want to play football for us, and you're 6 foot plus, 320 pounds, let us know. We'll get you in there. We'll get you in some pads." He's like, "We don't have the guys to be able to trustfully line up on field goals because we can't trust that they're not going to get through."
Damn.
Yeah. And they still almost beat Washington.
Frisky team. Maybe Arizona State. Maybe Arizona State and Arizona are frisky.
I mean, Arizona State's the party school of the country, so something's frisky down there.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a lot of herpes.
Well, anyway, who's more of a party school, them or Texas Tech?
Arizona State.
But you got Raider Rash at Texas Tech. Yeah, can't argue with that, huh?
I guess that's fair. I'll never say Texas Tech is the best at anything except throwing fucking bread on the field. Can we stop the tortilla dumb shit, bro? It's so retarded. Oh, we just got canceled.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry.
Thanks, Dalton.
Sorry.
Speaking of the R word, do you want to go into Utah versus USC?
Is the R word in this instance Riley?
Yeah.
Dude, you should have seen the smile on my face.
Hey, you know what? Utah played awesome.
They did. Their fourth string quarterback.
I thought both teams. I thought it was a good game, like all together. That was fun to watch. Utah.
You called it.
Utah's frisky. Utah is frisky. I did call it. Hey, look at me go.
Look at you go. We were backwards this week. I called Notre Dame, and you had USC, and we flipped it.
Yeah.
That's kind of winning him, man.
I'm proud of the pig farmer. He
played
well.
The pig farmer and the safety running the ball, by the way.
Oh yeah, they had a safety playing running back. Kyle Winningham. He just makes shit happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Utah played really well. Utah went out there. I mean, you're in a road environment. USC with their 3 fans being noisy. You got to go win the game, and that's what they did. How did they get set up in field goal range? Because I was out in McKinney, and I remember you texted me, and you were like, Utah, and I was like, what?
On that last drive, they go to throw the ball, and Bear Alexander comes in and hits the quarterback face to face.
Yeah.
For the targeting penalty, because he hit the quarterback, he lunged and hit him in the face.
Yeah.
Did you see? Were you about to bring up the fact he was crying after the game?
Yeah. That's what, because I was wondering, like, I didn't know if that.
Because he got ejected. That's why.
Yeah.
And then it was like 3rd and 16, and that pig farming motherfucker, that no good, dirty, rotten, pig stealing great grandfather of his.
Oh, he ran it for 20 yards, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
But like 2 plays before that, did you see him blow up the safety?
Mm-mm.
The quarterback takes off on a fucking draw and he sees the safety, doesn't slide, and just threw him, bro. Just goes right through him.
Well, he used to wrestle pigs. I'm sure the safety's not, tough.
That's like the American comparison of like the Dagestani UFC fighters wrestling bears when they were babies.
Yeah.
It's just him being a pig farmer and wrestling pigs. No, but yeah, he was 3rd and long, and he's running, gets into field goal range, looks like he's going to step out, and then 27 for USC takes maybe the worst angle I've ever seen, and I took geometry twice. The worst angle I've ever seen.
Shout out Pythagorean theorem.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared equals that motherfucker not being able to make that tackle.
Yeah.
And got the first down, put him in field goal range. And did you see when USC called the timeout on to ice the kicker?
Yeah.
Did you see the holder get hit in the face with the football?
Yeah.
If they didn't call that timeout, bro.
It would have been bad.
Dude. Oh, my God.
Should we question Lincoln Riley and his staff's clock management?
I've questioned Lincoln Riley every step of the way. Even when he was at OU, I was never the biggest Lincoln Riley fan.
Oh. He did some good.
He held us back from winning 2 national championships, though.
Yeah. Are you still sad about that?
Yeah, Baker should have won a national championship.
Okay.
Baker.
Right. Now, I was getting over it. Now that you brought that up, thanks. Now I'm not over it.
Do we need a midweek therapy pod where we just cry about Baker?
Yeah, let me go get Clemson's sports psychologist.
Yeah, me and him both on fucking suicide watch. Dabo's fucking it up, dude.
Dude, this guy on the planet.
Weirdo, man. Okay, you brought up Ollie Gordon running. Can we talk about Dabo running?
On the field. But it's pregame runs.
Dude. Him and Mike McDaniel, bro, on Sunday night.
Who runs a faster 40, Dabo or Rich Eisenberg?
Has to be Rich, right? Run, Rich, run, man. I'm going to tweet this at him.
Okay.
He's going to ignore me.
Yeah.
Like everyone who's cool. That's why you talk to me. Anyways, so,
I like doing this. Football's fun. College football is very
fun. The NFL is just depressing.
Before we deep into the Utah USC game, did you watch Michigan State? That was shit.
There was no point, dude. By the way, I'm going to get into Michigan JJ McCarthy's getting all this Heisman hype out of nowhere. Everyone was hating on Penn State. Oh, they hadn't played anybody. Michigan hadn't played anybody either, and they're beating teams just like Penn State did.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the double standard is, and it's starting to piss me off. Now, yes, Michigan is probably a better team than Penn State, but just because Michigan and Penn State both beat Indiana like 38-0, they've never played anybody. I would argue that Penn State's had a better resume so far, having played West Virginia and beating West Virginia and a couple other teams that Michigan ain't played yet. I would argue Penn State's had a better resume so far.
Oh, so you're saying Penn State is better than Michigan?
I just said the opposite of that.
Oh, we're gonna cut that other part out. We're gonna do this for clicks, okay?
Oh, okay.
About the media business, okay?
If we're doing this for clicks, Fortnite. All right. Anyways, so no, yeah. Back to what you were saying. Michigan just pounded Michigan State the way Mel Tucker was thinking about pounding that lady before he got his lawsuit. So,
well, I think Michigan State, they kind of deserve the loss. They're anti-Semitic. Did you see their scoreboard?
Yes, dude. Oh my God. That right there is what I mean is what we mean when we say it was a weird fucking weekend for college football. Not only did top teams either go down or struggle, Michigan State gets in even more fucking trouble than they're already in for throwing Hitler on their fucking trivia. And then Dabo's talking about his sports psychologist being on suicide watch. This is why college football is the best fucking sport. Fuck, not even just American sports. College football is the best sport because you got guys like fucking Dabo Sweeney talking about his psychologist is on suicide watch. You got Adolf Hitler making a random appearance in a fucking Videotron. You had, who was it, Maryland that was throwing the Kevin James meme up there during field goals. And you had Minnesota a couple years ago using the fucking side-eye gopher. Like, bro, college football is the best fucking sport. Oh, my God.
Michigan State should continue. They should make it trivia, and next week they just have like Osama bin Laden.
Just Osama bin Laden. The next week it's like Genghis Khan. After that it's like Napoleon.
Saddam Hussein.
Andrew Jackson.
I didn't believe it. I saw the tweet, and then I went and I went back and just looked up Michigan State, when you just look up Twitter trending, and then
what was the question?
I don't even remember. It was
because I just saw a picture of Hitler and then Austria.
I think it was the question was, who else other than Spencer Rattler has a logo? Hitler. No, I think they were just asking what country was Hitler born in or something. What? They should do that every week. If you're a Michigan fan, you're probably yeah, of course. What do you expect from little brother? They're not the smartest. But yeah, I like what you said about Michigan though. Let's stir up the controversy. Let's stir up some more controversy real quick. So you had your question about JJ McCarthy in Michigan. I have my question. Is Drake May is he actually good?
Yes.
Did you? Okay. So they had that pretty bad loss to Virginia. Credit Virginia. I thought they played awesome, but I have to watch UNC now because I'm a Bears fan, and we still don't know what's happening with our quarterback. So I'm having to watch both games, USC and UNC. I don't know. There's just nothing that really wows me on tape. His size, he's 6'4", 240, but he does this thing where, and I've seen this I watched a highlight video on YouTube because I was I haven't really watched him too much, but everybody talks about him being the next John Elway or Peyton Manning, the next generational player. He I don't know. There's just I'm just not too. It's probably just me being an OU fan. I'm programmed to think that every QB just has to do something miraculous. When you watch Baker, against Ohio State, he would do some Houdini act in the pocket, and then he would throw a ball, and you'd be wow, that was incredible. And like same thing with like Kyler Murray. Like you watch Kyler Murray and like you can make a case for those guys being like the top 5 pick or like the number 1 pick. Like people were like drooling over Sam Darnold, and I watched his tape and I was like, I don't see anything impressive with this guy. And then you watch Baker Mayfield, and like you can make a case for him, even though the measurables weren't there. It was like, oh, he's actually really fucking awesome. Like he's a ball player, you know. He won the Heisman. Uh, Kyler Murray he made the impossible or just like the incredible just look like it was like a practice walkthrough, you know. So it's just not jumping off to me with Drake May, and that kind of scares me because now I'm in a point where like if Justin Fields isn't the guy and Tyson Bagent ends up not being the guy, then who's the guy? Are we gonna have to go get Tom Brady? Can Tom Brady still play? I don't know. I don't know. Nothing's just jumping off tape. At least with Caleb, I'll say one last thing. At least with Caleb, I know that I'm getting a guy that when stuff breaks down, he could make like a miraculous play. Yes, the past 2 weeks haven't been great, but we'll forget about that because he's going to be a future Chicago Bear more than likely.
So here's my thing on it. Here's my take on it. The one thing that I will say I can always, outside of Spencer Rattler, he's the one kind of outlier. The one thing that I can give Lincoln Riley the most praise for is his quarterbacks had really good pocket awareness.
Yeah.
And they were able to escape the pocket, find the gap, slip out, make and extend the play, right? That was one good thing about his quarterbacks. Almost to a detriment with Caleb, though. I feel like Caleb, I don't know if he doesn't trust his offensive line or if he's in this mentality now that he has to be Superman. And because you see him duck out the pocket real quick. Or he gets a tiny bit of pressure to one side, he'll roll out and try to extend the play or try to run, where he still has plenty of time in his pocket. I don't know if he doesn't trust his offensive line. Very different with Dylan. You see Dylan shouldn't trust his offensive line, but tries to stay in there a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Now, USC's offensive line is arguably worse than OU's. I think OU's pass protection is pretty good. I think it's more so the run game. But
I don't think I would trust USC's offensive line if I was Caleb.
I wouldn't trust USC's offensive line to block wind. Like, dude, they're just not. They're not physical. That's Lincoln Riley's biggest fucking problem ever since he goddamn came to. We're gonna go off on a rant. They're not physical. They're not physical teams. They're not physical fucking teams. And physical football is what wins, right? Physicality is what you can carry over week to week. You're not going to be perfect every week. Your run game is going to be off. Your pass game is going to be off. Wide receivers are going to drop a couple balls they shouldn't. You're going to turn the ball over a couple times. You're going to give up a deep shot. But you know what you can carry? What travels, no matter where the fuck you go? Physicality. Punching people in the mouth. That's what travels. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing that Lincoln Riley's never had. But that is the one thing I will praise him for. And it's one thing you see, Spencer Rattler, I don't think he was athletic, or I don't think he's athletic enough to be able to escape and kind of make the magical plays. I think he has to be in the pocket. I think that's why him and Lincoln didn't work out. But that's my thought on it. I think Drake May is a fantastic quarterback. His pocket awareness kind of lacks, but that can be taught, especially if he goes to the right system in the NFL. And I, of course, being a Packers fan, I think every rookie quarterback should have a bit of time to kind of learn instead of just being thrown out there to the wolves, especially if you're an early round draft pick or a first round draft pick and you're a rookie quarterback and you're expected to start. More than likely, your team's going to be pretty shit. That's what killed Sam Bradford behind the worst offensive line maybe in NFL history, outside of maybe the Commanders this year. Holy fuck. I was literally watching the Commanders game yesterday, and I was like, I was reading some stats, and I was watching with my cousin, and I was like, Sam Howell has already been sacked 34 times, and right as I said that, Leonard Williams came straight through and fucking sacked him, and I was like, he's already been sacked 35 times? Like, dude, literally. But
yeah, we'll get into that in a little while.
But that's what killed Sam Bradford. He was out there expected to be the starter right away, to be the savior. Played well. He took a 2-14 team to be 8-8. Barely missed the playoffs. Yeah, and I think they missed. I think they were the first team out, but I don't remember too well. They may have made it, but That's going to be the biggest killer. That's why I think you should wait and let them learn. But obviously, I'm a Packers fan. That's what they've done. So it's, But no, I mean, getting back to the UNC game, you'd think kind of the way things went that UNC just was unlucky, turned the ball over a few times. Virginia just capitalized. No, like Virginia lost a turnover battle in that game. Do you know that?
Nuh-uh.
Virginia was -2 in turnovers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they just lined up and beat them. Like that was as simple as that. Virginia just had the right game plan, or maybe UNC didn't. They lined up and beat them.
I didn't know that. But okay. Maybe I'll give Drake May some slack. Maybe I'm just hard on him just because I'm programmed to see just impossible situations for quarterbacks, like with what we had with OU, like Baker, Kyler, Caleb, where they just made miraculous plays all the time. I know that doesn't always happen in football, but it's kind of the same way. Like people were saying, like, "Oh, Trevor Lawrence is like a generational talent," and I watched his tape, and I'm like, his receivers are just really fucking good. Like there was nothing that just wowed me. His measurements, yeah. I mean, he's doing well in the NFL now. Like Trevor Lawrence he's in the right system. He's got a good coach and he's got good receivers, so he'll end up being good. This is why I don't evaluate quarterbacks or evaluate. I evaluate defensive backs because I'm like for some weird reason I'm always right with defensive backs. I'm just like, oh, that guy, he looks like he could be a killer, and then he ends up being a killer. Devin Witherspoon. Anyway, yeah, that's all I got for college football. So, do you have any other thoughts?
No, I really don't. I mean, the other thing I might mention is yes, FSU won, and yes, FSU covered, and yes, they beat Duke, and yes, Duke was without Riley Leonard, and they shut them down on third down and in the red zone and all this. I still don't think Florida State's that good. I think they're a top 10 team. Now I think they're a top 10 team, but they're not. I mean, they're going to be ranked high because of the LSU win and everything, but
so you're saying they're frauds?
I'm not saying they're I'm not Brandon Walker.
No,
that's Brandon Walker.
That's a good thing though. It's not a bad thing to be a fraud. That means you're doing something good. There's a difference. It's like with the Bears. The Bears are bums. The Bears, we suck. We know we suck. But if you're fraudulent, that means you have a good record. You're beating teams you should. But once you get into conference championship or even the playoffs, you're expected to lose. You're not expected to make it far. That's kind of how it is. With NFL teams, some teams are frauds, but they're playing
Vikings
good.
Last year.
Yeah, Vikings are frauds. You're right. So you're saying Florida State's fraud?
I wouldn't go as far as fraud. He's trying to put words in my mouth. I wouldn't go that far. I think they're a solid football team. I just don't think you put Florida State on the field against Georgia. Georgia wins. You put Florida State on the field against Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State with that defense. Those teams win. You put them on the field with OU and Texas. OU and Texas likely win. Florida State probably doesn't beat Alabama. And I think that's kind of where the line stops. I think in terms of teams I think would beat Florida State. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, OU, Washington, Texas, Bama. I think all of those teams beat Florida State. I might be wrong. I could very well be wrong. And if I'm wrong, they'll have to prove it. But I think those teams right now would beat Florida State, even not necessarily on a neutral field. I think at home they would beat Florida State. And Doak Campbell.
Well, one thing that they have that not a lot of teams have is Keon Coleman.
And Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
And Jaheim Bell. And Jared Verse. They have stars. They have stars all over the field. But and Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis is a good quarterback. He's great. But I don't think they have a lot of stars, but I just think they're getting a little bit too much love.
Okay. That's fair.
So
that's fair.
You want to move on to the NFL though?
Yeah, we can. OU is going to go to Lawrence next week. Take care of business.
Yeah. That's one thing I did want to say. This, just to fucking throw it back, because I just want to make this known. It's okay when your take care of business game becomes survive in advance.
It may freak you out a little bit in the beginning, though.
It may make you shit your pants, but that's okay. Just go wipe. You'll be fine. Okay.
Did you scream at the TV while it was unfolding?
I screamed at my phone in the car while I was driving home from work. When Dylan threw that pick, my phone almost went out my window on I-35.
Weird game, man.
Weird game. But yeah, no, let's move on to the NFL. You sent over the slate. You want to kind of break them down in order?
Yeah, I think we should definitely talk about this game. So the Lions, they go to Baltimore. The spread was in favor of Baltimore, -3, kind of a pick 'em. Hey, Baltimore did it. Remember what we were talking about last episode? We said, hey, these guys could be Super Bowl contenders. Like, they just haven't shown it yet. Well, they showed it, and it was a team that we thought were probably Super Bowl contenders.
You know what I think that game did? That game threw Lamar right back to the top of the MVPs.
Yeah, he looked. You know what? I was super high on Zay Flowers. He showed out.
He did.
Yeah, like I said, hey, he's the best receiver in the class, and it's like him and Jordan Addison right now.
And Marvin Mims.
Yeah, well, Chicago's gonna love him very much. But Zay Flowers, yeah, he looked good. Jackson Smith and Jigma looked good. We'll get into that game later. But yeah, Zay Flowers was awesome. Mark Andrews was awesome. The defense, that's the reason I had Baltimore as kind of like my Super Bowl sleeper. They were my Super Bowl dark horse this year. And it's because of their defense. And they showed out. They looked great.
Their pass rush is insane.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, they were hitting Jared Goff for the snap even got there half the time, dude. Ridiculous. And I feel like they don't have big names either. I feel like they're just head down, just hit the fucking quarterback.
They got some big names. They got Kyle Hamilton.
Well, I'm saying their pass rush though.
Marlon Humphreys. Yeah, you're right. They don't have Calais Campbell anymore, so it's kind of hard to know who they have.
Yeah, exactly. They're just solid.
But they were awesome to watch. That was you know what we said about Kansas State and TCU yesterday, or not yesterday, but earlier in the episode. You can't even shin pumping isn't the right word. I don't even think ass fucking is the right word.
The perfect word for it is they went Hiroshima on them, bro.
It was bad. It was bad. Lamar looks awesome. The Ravens looked awesome. They kind of proved our point with they could be a great NFL team. I think they're now the second best AFC team.
Behind Kansas City?
Yeah. I think that because I mean, who else?
Miami,
Kansas,
maybe.
I think Baltimore's better.
Oh, I think they are too. I mean, their defense is outstanding.
Awesome. They ran all over the line.
They did. By the way, just want to throw this in here. I know we're just because we're talking about the NFL. Into the third quarter, Monday Night Football, the Vikings are up 22-14 on the Niners.
Drama, controversy. So it doesn't look like the Bears. I thought the Bears were going to be the only team in the NFC North to actually carry the weight of the division this week. But it turns out the Vikings are.
Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, Baltimore 38, Detroit 6. So are we ready to say that Baltimore is a Super Bowl contender?
Oh, 100%.
Now they're going to lay a stinker next week.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen. But
no, I think so. I think we need to move on to what I would honestly call the surprise of the weekend. New England just beat Buffalo, man.
Yeah, it wasn't a fluke, in my opinion.
No, they beat them. Is it time to bring Josh Allen back down to earth a little bit?
I am really so no. I don't think it's Josh Allen. I think it's just Buffalo as a whole. Before the season started, I said that Buffalo just doesn't look like a very good team, especially when Tre'Davious White's out. I don't think they're a very good team, and they kind of proved my point.
You know what I think part of the issue is with Buffalo?
What?
They're the same team they've been for the past 4 or 5 years. Oh. And with that issue, them having pretty much all the same players, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, all they got some new stable running backs. They got the same safeties. They got the same corners. Linebackers the same. Defensive line majority the same. While, yes, you have talent and you have guys that have proven it at the NFL level and you have good players, they're just getting older and they're not changing things. And people are starting to figure them out.
Maybe that's a Sean McDermott issue.
I think it is. Yeah. Not that Sean McDermott, I think he's a fantastic coach. I also do agree with you. I saw a lot of people were like, oh, it's time to hang it up on Josh Allen. It's like, no, it's not. Josh Allen's still a fantastic quarterback. He's a great playmaker. A little bit careless with the ball, but he's like a more athletic Brett Favre. You think about it, you know? He's like, I can put that ball there. I'm going to do whatever it takes to put it there. You know what I mean?
I'm okay with his interceptions because when he throws an interception, it's like a 50-yard interception down at the at his opponent's
like a punt.
Yeah, it's basically a punt. Like if you're going to throw an interception, you might as well just throw it to where they have bad field position. So
well, see, and that's the thing. That's why I bring up Brett Favre. I mean, Brett Favre was notorious for, I think my arm is better than your defensive back, and I'm gonna throw it as hard as I fucking can and get it there.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, that's kind of where Josh Allen is. Patrick Mahomes kind of has that, but he's a lot more careful with the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and so I just think I don't think it's time to hang it up on Josh Allen. I think he's fantastic. I just think, you know, sometimes the chips fall the other way sometimes. That's just where it's at right now.
Mac Jones, credit to Mac Jones. He was awesome that final drive. And then Bill Belichick, he got his 300th win, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he's up there now. You could finally say that he's an elite coach. Not the 6 Super Bowls.
No, finally? Yeah, no, it's not the 6 Super Bowls.
And they finally got a win at Gillette ever since they put up the new lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting stat.
Things turning around up in New England, man?
Yeah. Maybe we're not out for Bill Belichick's head anymore. Maybe the Patriots.
I never was.
Maybe the Patriots are back. 29-25. That was awesome.
Good game. It was a good game.
Jones. But yeah, no. It was kind of surprising because they looked like, you know how we were talking about like Citadel versus Alabama earlier? That's what like New England's basically looked like the past like few weeks. Like they just looked terrible. And they go out there and they beat the Bills.
Yeah.
So there we go. Controversy. And then the game that you brought up earlier, so the Commanders and the Giants. So the Giants won 14-7.
Yep. It was a Big Ten football game right there.
Yeah. It basically was. And Magic Johnson, who's now a part owner of the Commanders, went on Twitter and said, hey, it's kind of hard to win games when you only score 7 points. I mean, I agree with him.
Yeah.
I agree with him. Yeah. I feel bad for Commanders fans. Can you imagine starting 2-0 and then everything just goes to shit?
Like Sam Howell looking like the next guy, and then it just falls apart.
Yeah, no.
But he can't stay on his feet, man. They have no time. He has no time in the pocket. None. And he's on his ass by the time the ball gets there.
Yeah. Did you see Jonathan Allen like post game?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, post game, like they were like a reporter came up to him and asked him questions. He said, "I'm really tired of this shit. It's the same shit every for the past 7 fucking years."
Damn.
I think that's exactly how he said it too. He was pissed. So, if you're a Commanders,
I mean, when you hold a team to 14 points, you expect to win, right?
Yeah. Well, if you're a Commanders fan, you know, I get it. You're at a low point. Let me calm you down real quick, Commanders fans. I've been a Bears fan for my whole life, so I know how this works. Right now, you're kind of in denial about all of this. This should have been a good season. You're about to hit the acceptance stage, though. You're going to skip everything else and go to the acceptance stage. You might as well accept it. They're just not a very good team. They got a lot of good players, though. Brian Robinson, Jod Dotson, Terry McLaurin. And then I can name their entire defensive line. They're that good. They're like in my top 3 defensive line. But if Jonathan Allen's really that pissed, I mean, Chicago will gladly take him. If the Commanders are in full tank mode now, like if they're in full, like just restart, get rid of the team, sell the team, we're done.
Hey, I'm all on the Jonathan Allen and Green Bay hype train. Bro, can you imagine a defensive line of Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith, and then Kenny Clark and Jonathan Allen.
I claimed him first. I claimed Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, and Chase Young. So Chicago, that's their new hometown.
Okay.
That is full tank mode. So
apparently the Panthers are in sell now mode, but they're not willing to sell. So
who knows? Yeah, that was a really sad game. I feel bad for Commanders fans. Tyrod Taylor, he might be better than Daniel Jones.
I mean, he scored the first, or he had more touchdowns in this game than, or no, he has the same amount of touchdowns in this game than Daniel Jones had all season. So throwing at least.
Yeah.
By the way, his deep ball to Jalen Hyatt is looking pretty good. Jalen Hyatt starting to kind of turn it around and figure this whole just run faster than the guy in front of you thing. So,
but if you're a Giants fan, is this really a win? Because now you're kind of realizing, like, fuck, we just paid a fuck ton of money for a shit quarterback, and Tyrod Taylor's going out there and blowing it up.
I knew when they paid Daniel Jones it was going to come back to bite him in the ass. I fucking told you. I told you in your fucking office when they paid Daniel Jones it was going to come back to bite him in the ass.
I thought he was going to be good. He looked decent last season.
You can't this isn't baseball. You can't pay a motherfucker off one good season.
But it was
can't
Brian.
Do it, dude.
He looked. They just, Brian Daboll became the head coach, and then it's like he turned around. Like it was just like miraculous. He went
6 months from now, Brian Daboll is going to be making hot dogs at bar ass. Okay. I take that back. Brian Daboll is a great coach. I love Daboll. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry, Daboll.
Yeah, you should.
Don't yell at me, Daves.
But let's just we'll go into the next game. That game, I mean, feel bad for Commanders fans and Giants fans. This next game was fucking awesome.
Yes.
It was the longest early game slate. It went on like I think it was halftime for the afternoon slates while this game was still going on. But you had everything. So it was the Colts and the Browns. Colts and the Browns. The Indianapolis Colts were 10-0 when they raised the dome. So like when they opened up the dome, they were 10-0. Well, now they're 10-1 because Cleveland won 39-38. You had everything this game. It was fantastic. It was awesome. You had Minshew mania. You had, Deshaun Watson still being a fucking shitty quarterback. He still sucked. And then PJ Walker coming out to save the day. Myles Garrett. I want a Myles Garrett on Chicago. Can we have a Myles Garrett? Is that okay?
You wanted the fucking Commanders' defensive line. You got to pick and choose. You want one Myles Garrett or the Commanders' defensive line?
I like both. Can we make it happen?
This isn't deal or no deal, motherfucker.
Did you see his? Did you see his blocked field goal?
Yeah. Did you see his box jump from the offseason?
Yeah, that was awesome. I don't understand like that rule because they get Quay Walker for that, like jumping over the.
Yeah, but Quay touched him.
Oh, that's what.
Quay grazed his back. You can't touch him at all. If you're going to go over top, you have to completely clear them, which makes it fucking crazier. The fact that he is how big? 6'6", 280, and cleared that motherfucker?
That was awesome to watch.
Oh, my God.
He's probably the most fun on the Browns. Like, he's the most fun to watch. And they have Nick Chubb.
They got Obo Okoronkwo.
Well, yeah, but, yeah, that's fine. That's true. But it's Myles
Garrett. But Obo ain't no Myles Garrett. That's for damn sure. He's ridiculous, man.
Unbelievable. But that game was so fun, so awesome to watch. I loved everything.
I love me some Minshew mania.
Yeah, I guess Minshew's back.
It's the NFL equivalent to Lynn Sanity.
Yeah. Nay, be nice to Minshew. Okay, he's had better games.
He's had better games
last week. He had that really bad game, but he made up for it. And the Browns' defense is still good, and they scored 38 points. Was it 38 points on offense?
I think so.
I don't remember.
Because he had the deep ball to Josh Downs. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. I think Jonathan Taylor maybe got in. I don't think they had any other, so I would think it had to be.
Yeah. Well, that was a fucking awesome game to watch. And the over hit, so if you bet the over on that game.
The over hit by a fucking mile in that one, by the way. Yeah,
I know. It hit at halftime. But yeah, I guess we go to the next game. This one was my shit game of the week. The Falcons go to Tampa Bay and beat them 16-13. Battle of the mids. I tried to plead my case with Tampa Bay because nobody paid attention to Tampa Bay this season because it was oh, it's just gonna be the same team as last year. Todd Bowles, head coach. The team's just not gonna be good. And I was like, no, they're gonna be good. They'll be fine. All right, Todd Bowles, you're killing me here. I'm trying to be nice to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but yeah, just a stinker. But hey, Desmond Ridder didn't throw a pick.
He didn't. He did not throw a pick.
He just fumbled 3 times and twice at the yard line.
Yeah,
Arthur Smith is an awesome reaction guy.
They need a camera on him 24/7.
Yeah, he's just the funniest fucking dude. But Desmond Ridder, when Arthur Smith, when he said no interceptions, I think what he meant to say was, hey, Desmond Ridder, no turnovers.
Yeah. Got to be a little bit more specific there, Art.
Yeah. But that game, I mean, the Bucs, maybe they're just mid. I don't know. The whole team just seemed off. And it's weird. They still have a lot of players from the Super Bowl, but if you're a Falcons fan, you're happy because you're at the top of the division now. But now you got to make a decision do we keep Desmond Ridder in or do we take a chance with playoff Heineke? They've got Taylor Heineke.
They do. I think you just keep Ridder in because I think no matter what happens, the division's weak, so it's not going to be as hard to win.
Yeah.
If they make the playoffs or if they don't, they're still going to be a mid first round team probably. So I think you use this whole season to see exactly what you have in Desmond Ridder. And if it doesn't work out, it's a quarterback heavy class. Just go get you someone in the middle of the first, So I think Caleb Williams, Drake May probably go early, maybe Bo Nix. But, I mean, you'll have your pick of Bo Nix, Michael Penix. Who else is going to be?
Well, J.J. McCarthy's probably going to be up there. A lot of teams.
J.J. McCarthy. Sam Hartman will be there. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be plenty of teams. And we're probably not going to touch on this one as much just because it's happening right now. But I think Minnesota is another one of those teams where you just kind of have to play this season out and just look to move on next year. You got a quarterback.
What's the score in that game right now?
It's still 22-17, but as I say that, the Vikings are driving.
Wow.
So 11 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but apparently Jordan Addison got hurt. But yeah, no, I mean, I still think
the Bucs are going to win the division, but
I do too. I think their defense.
Yeah.
Because you can't consistently allow teams to only score in the teens and keep losing. At some point, your offense is going to start to get it going. I think Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Baker just have to really start hitting, man.
No, they can't run the ball. That's their problem.
That is also true.
They can't run the ball, and it's kind of hard. It's hard to get open all the time and run passing plays when your running game just sucks.
That's what's going on with OU. That's why they're going to have those stinkers every now and then.
That's what it is. Awesome defense, great passing game, but the running game, it just isn't there. And it's the NFL, so it's much harder.
Exactly.
But
I'm gonna let you just speak on this one all you want because I was wrong. I was wrong on Tyson Bagent. I apologize. The man got it done. He's 1-0 in the NFL, and he looked good, man. He looked like a good quarterback. He was making reads. He was taking what the defense gave him. He ran the ball when he needed to. He didn't force anything. And
yeah,
what do you think, man?
Go ahead and say the final score.
I don't want to.
Okay, I'll say it. Chicago 30 and Las Vegas 12. Yeah, good story. I like the Tyson Bagent story. His dad is 20-time arm wrestling champ, something like that. Yeah. I saw a stat and it was in the past 2 starts for Tyson Bagent at Shepherd University, he played fucking some high school team or whatever, and he lost that game. In his second start, he won his first NFL game as a starter.
Yeah, wasn't it Colorado School, the Mines or some shit?
Yeah, Yeah, Colorado School of Mines. You're right. Yeah, so he lost that game, and then he won his first NFL start. I have been saying this since they hired him. Josh McDaniels is just not cut out to be offensive genius. Josh McDaniels. Sorry. ESPN, Fox, Sports Center Analytics. Offensive guru Josh McDaniels kind of sucks as a head coach. He lost to Jeff Saturday when he came off of his couch against the Colts. He lost to the Rams when they were tanking, and Baker had 24 hours to learn an offensive system. And then now they lost to Tyson Bagent, which he looked good. He made quick reads. He got the ball out quick. I think Luke Getsy did a good job of like kind of scheming that, because it's like, hey, maybe he's not like the most talented quarterback ever, but we're gonna go ahead and scheme and just let him do his thing.
You know what pisses me off about what you just said?
What?
Josh McDaniels beat the Packers.
I forgot about that.
I don't think you did. I just think you didn't hear me say it.
Poverty franchise.
All right, moving on.
No, I want to say something. All
right, go ahead.
Here's where I'm at with it. If Matt Eberflus keeps winning games, maybe he's not on the hot seat, and then we have to make a decision. So, like, now we're kind of in that spot, because it's kind of like, yeah, at this point you need to get rid of him. I think they just need a defensive coordinator, because their defensive coordinator resigned. But then their defense got better after he left. So just go and hire Jim Knowles from Ohio State.
Shit.
Or just bring back Vic Fangio. Chicago is a defensive, like, when you think of all the great defenses throughout, like, the history of the NFL, it's usually Chicago. Like,
the 85 Bears.
Yeah, 85 Bears. Or you think like the Ravens. Like the Ravens always have a good defense too. And like the Steelers. Like the Steelers, Ravens, and Bears.
The Reggie White Packers.
I just don't think Vic Fangio is a Miami guy. Like it just doesn't make sense with him being over there, because he's an awesome defensive coordinator and his defenses are always good. Just come back to Chicago. Be the defensive coordinator. Or just fire him and then hire Vic Fangio. Give him another shot. Just say, hey, listen, it didn't work out in Denver. Denver's a poverty franchise. Come to the Bears. We're ready to win a Super Bowl once we get Caleb Williams or Drake. Or maybe it's Tyson. Maybe Tyson Bagent is him.
Fucking imagine if he becomes like y'all's franchise quarterback.
Tyson Bagent.
Maybe.
Oh, and Deontay Foreman had 3 touchdowns.
Dude, he was running his fucking like ass off.
Yeah, good for him. Defense looked good.
Yeah.
You know, if
Brian Hoyer's not too good, so.
Hoyer the Destroyer. Yeah, I know, that's kind of sad. But anyways, yeah, it's nice to win one. You know, you can't hurt me. I know what you're going to say. Yeah, the Bears still suck. I know we still suck. But we got the number 1 pick in the draft thanks to Carolina. And then we're probably going to have a top 5 pick, because I don't see us winning more than 4 games. Maybe we beat the Vikings once. I think we lose to Green Bay again, which is fine. I mean, I'm used to it by now. But moving on. So now we've got the Steelers and the Rams.
Surprised me, by the way. I didn't realize the Steelers won that game.
Yeah. So I wanted to bet on that game because Mike Tomlin, I think, is like 56-30 as an underdog coming off the bye week. Yeah. So, like, if it's after the bye week and he's an underdog to a team, you might as well. That's an easy bet.
Yeah.
And are the Steelers good?
No.
No.
I don't think.
Are they average?
I think they're average. I think they're going to be.
But
they're in a tough division, right?
I feel like the Rams are average, and if you beat an average team, like the box score doesn't show how convincing the win was for them. They only won by 7 points, but felt like they were just the better team all the way through in that game. I feel like
that catch Puka Nacua had, by the way.
He's awesome. Fun name to say too.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua.
Makes me poop in my pants that the Packers didn't fucking take him. He lost in the 7th round.
Well, he was at BYU, right?
Yeah, he's a Mormon.
Yeah.
He's got 7 wives. Of course he's not losing.
Did Zach Wilson throw to him when Zach Wilson was at BYU?
I would assume so at some point, yeah.
Huh. Maybe draft people from BYU.
Maybe Taysom Hill, Jamal Williams.
Yeah. Keep going.
I don't know anymore.
And
moving on. And that's what we're doing. We're moving on. No, I don't think the Steelers are good. I think they're in one of the tougher divisions in the NFL, if not the toughest. If you look at the Steelers the Browns got a great defense. The Ravens are good all around. Cincinnati's going to figure it out, So I think they're the worst in their division, but they're not a terrible team. I just think they're average to below average.
They always played the Ravens like super close. Like,
well, that's because they're like it's the Steelers and Ravens. Like that's one of the toughest rivalries in all of football. And they have Mike Tomlin, who's one of the greatest coaches in the NFL right now.
That reminds me, Commanders fans. I know you're depressed now, but next week you play the Eagles. You always play the Eagles good. Like the past 4 games, it's been like either they win, like they ended the streak, like the 8-0 streak last year, and they took them to overtime. Yeah. You don't be on suicide watch, Commanders fans.
Yeah, don't talk to Clemson sports psychologist.
Yeah, left hand up. Left hand up. You get to play the Eagles. Maybe you win that game. You always play the Eagles good.
That's fair. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. But yeah, no, I don't know. Pittsburgh, they're a good team. They're going to beat teams that not necessarily they probably shouldn't, but they're going to be competitive in every game they play. And
yeah,
unless they play the Niners again, which obviously they won't. But their defense is good. I don't know if Kenny Pickett's the guy. Najee Harris is so slow. He's just so slow.
Yesterday.
He did. But let's go ahead and move on. We got a couple more here. We'll touch on this one, and then I'll go on my my rant. Fucking bullshit. Okay. So Seattle beats Arizona. Covered, by the way, in this one. Spread was 9.5. So covered in this one. I think Seattle's just one of those teams that's going to be consistently above average. Pete Carroll's a good coach. Geno Smith is rebounding pretty well in his career. But I think what's going to keep Seattle in every game they play this year, no matter how bad their offense shows out, they have the best, and we've mentioned it multiple times before, they have the best and deepest secondary in all of the NFL.
Did you see Devin Witherspoon's hit?
Yes.
But good Lord.
I got another hit I want to talk on. That motherfucker got suspended for 4 fucking games today, but we'll touch on that. Motherfucker trying to kill Luke Musgrave. But I think Seattle's a solid team. Kenneth Walker's a good running back. They have a loaded wide receiver core, especially when healthy. I mean, if JSN's your number 3, and that's why you see a big game from JSN, because it's going to be hard for him to get the ball with DK and Tyler Lockett out there already. And who's that one fucking guy? Bobo?
Dude, great day for just Bobos all around. There was, was it Jay Bobo? I think before that, like, if your last name is Bobo, you're having an awesome time.
Wish my last name was Bobo. I'd be a lot happier today. But, I mean, I don't know if you have any necessary thoughts. I mean, Arizona needs Kyler to come back. But obviously you want him to be 100%. So,
I was going to ask you, like, are the Cardinals ready for him to come back? I feel like they need him back.
I think they do too. And more so not because he's going to come in and turn their season around. You just need something exciting, a playmaker out there, someone that's going to be able to run around and make a couple more plays for you than Josh Dobbs can. And if Arizona's tanking and if Arizona's selling, you're going to want to raise Kyler's stock as high as possible if you're going to move on. You know what I mean? Not that they need to or not that they should. It's just if that's the situation they're going to be in,
So you mentioned it in an earlier college game. So Virginia won the turnover battle against North Carolina. Mm-hmm. Well, Arizona won the turnover battle against Seattle. 3-0, and Seattle still won. So I think Seattle's good. Like, if Geno's healthy and he's just playing like he should, they're like maybe a deep playoff team. Maybe like division.
Oh, I could see them making a run. Now, the only issue is they got to get through San Fran, right?
They can.
And they certainly can. They certainly can. It's just they're going to have to get through San Francisco. But not only that, the NFC is kind of weak. I mean, it's San Francisco and the Eagles, maybe Seattle.
Yeah, maybe Seattle. If the Bucks could ever figure it out, like they could, they have, but they just. I
think coming out the NFC South is going to be another one of those like 8 and 9 playoff teams. Or just the the division champ's going to make it, and it's going to be rough, and they'll probably be a one and done. But no, I could certainly see Seattle being like an NFC championship game, or a good competitive divisional game, unlike they had last year. But I think I think they're a good team. I really do. Do you have any other thoughts on that game before I move on to?
No, I mean Seattle's a good team. If you lose the tournament battle and still win the game and cover, you're a good team.
Yeah.
Hey, Arizona's frisky.
They're one of those teams that can certainly pop up and grab you. Like remember the old Buffalo Wild Wings sprinkler in the turf ad?
Yeah,
that's the Cardinals. They come up and just kind of trip you.
They have you know what I was thinking? You ever seen Impractical Jokers?
Mm-hmm.
I saw like a meme like on social media, and it was like Jonathan Gannon looks like James from Impractical Jokers, which I can that being the case. Like Sal is in his ear, and he's like, "Okay, now just ruin the second half." Like
Sal's in his ear, and it's like 3rd and 19. They're down by 7 on like the 50-yard line, and he's like, "Quarterback draw."
Sprint draw.
Yeah, fuck. Maybe if they would have ran that, they probably would have done well. But now let's. So let's move on. The Green Bay Packers take a flight over to Mile High, and they play the Denver Broncos, and it's one of those seasons, man. I still think Jordan's the guy.
I feel you on this one because we lost to the Broncos too at home, though.
Yeah, y'all were up in that game. We were never up till the end. So I'm gonna stand by this. I think Jordan can be the guy. I think you give him time. I think Jordan can be the guy. You got a young core of playmakers around him. Okay, stop fucking looking at me like that. The offensive line has been beaten, battered. It's a really ugly game, by the way, penalty-wise. Both teams, I felt like they were throwing a flag every, 3-4 plays in this game. It was weird. I think it ended with a combined, 13 penalties, which isn't a lot, but it seemed like a lot. Just kind of the way that the game was paced and the way it was going. But, Packers defense, you hold them to 19 points, man. I mean, you expect to win those games. I don't know what Matt LaFleur's thing is, man. You look at that last throw that Jordan had that ended up being a pick. By the way, I saw Kurt Benkert was talking about it, and he was like, he's right. Jordan's getting a lot of unwarranted bash. I don't think Jordan should be getting as much hate as he is. He's a first-year starter. He's got a bunch of young guys around him. Aaron, and people compare him to Aaron Rodgers naturally. In Green Bay, he sat behind him for a few years. Similar situation. Aaron had a lot more vets when he kind of came in. So, especially in the receiver corps, there are a lot more guys that, like on that last play, Samori Toure, if he comes back to the ball, that's PI. There's 2 dudes tackling him, 1 clotheslining him. That's PI. You set us up inside the 30-yard line. Anders Carlson has been nailed so far this season. He fucking missed one, which fucking hurts. His first miss. And, he's been much better than his brother, by the fuck away. Daniel Carson's been ass this year. But you're going to miss one every now and then, just much like Zach Schmidt. You're going to miss one every now and then. But it's just, I have faith in the team. I knew coming into the season, as much as it fucking hurts every week to see this bullshit happens, they're a young team. They're going to make mistakes. They have to learn to grow together. Only issue with that is because we waited so long on Jordan, I don't know that they have the time to do so. Because if he starts to show out and he starts to turn into a first-round quarterback, he's going to want his money. And we got a lot of money tied up. And because we just kept kicking the can down and keep trying to win with Aaron, and we've kind of backed ourselves into a corner. But I don't know. The defense is starting to get things figured out. They've been so beat. I think we had 8 or 9 people go down with an injury, and only 3 of them fucking came back in the game. We might be the youngest team in football, or one of them. How the fuck are we playing a bunch of 50-year-olds, bro? Every other play, someone's hip is fucking cracking. They just can't stay healthy, bro. And it's pissing me the fuck off. Green Bay used to be the place. It was there was fucking what is that fucking anti-aging water bullshit they have? What is that? The fucking
Fountain of Youth.
Yes, the fucking Fountain of Youth. Green Bay used to be the Fountain of Youth, right? Guys would go there. They would have a prolonged career. older guys would be able to succeed there, and now younger guys can't even stay healthy. And it's just it's frustrating as fuck, and I don't know what's going on. I'm not on the fire Joe Barry train. I'm not a fucking big fan of his, but I'm honestly more pissed with Matt LaFleur at this point. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I've felt this way for a few weeks. I just think his play calling is really frustrating and suspect. Like, okay, so I'll go back to the play. Jordan's final throw. Yes, Samori should have came back to the ball, gotten the defensive PI, set us up. Anders hit game-winning field goal. Okay, look at it on the All-22. Did you watch it by chance?
No, I can't imagine what you're going to be like this season if OU loses a game.
Oh my fucking god, dude. So the last fucking play on Jordan's pick, it's third and like fucking 98. And they take, I think it was Christian Watson, runs a dig to the first down marker. Samori Toure runs a deep crosser, like a clear out. Romeo Dobbs runs a fucking 9-yard comeback to the fucking out of bounds. And then Luke Musgrave runs like a little, I don't even know what the fuck you call it. Just like a little, like a check down route. On third and fucking 19, we have two guys not even running to the sticks. We have one guy taking two fucking safeties on a clear out, the slowest guy in our receiver core. Then we have the fastest guy on the fucking team running a dig right at the first down marker, right into cover 4. What the fuck? This shit, dude, it doesn't make sense. Matt LaFleur's play calling does not fucking make sense.
Let me tell you.
Don't know what it is.
Let me tell you what it is. Maybe Jordan Love just stinks.
Oh, fucking.
Listen, no, you right now, just like Commanders fans and just like I was at the beginning of the season, you're in a denial phase. You're about to skip to acceptance. You're going to have to accept it because this is what I want for the Packers. I hope that I hope Jordan Love continues to make, like, he plays good, but then, like, it's not good enough. So, like, you're just stuck at, like, do we pay this guy? Like, what do we do? And
like
then
Texas A&M, perpetually 7-5.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
As a Bears fan, like, I hope it happens. Like, I hope you stay just because, like, is he the guy? Maybe. Does he look like the guy? No. But you have no idea. The Packers have no idea. But I feel bad for you, man, because I know what that's like being on that side of the. Like, now I'm on the winning side for once. It's nice to finally win.
We both have 2 wins. Calm the fuck down.
But we were a disaster. We're in that spot right now. But now, I mean, if Tyson Bagent plays fucking awesome his next game, I mean, what is that going to do for not Jordan Love, but for Justin Fields, like, for his mental?
No, for sure.
That's going to suck for him. But, I mean, I think that's really the only thing that Green Bay's missing right now is probably a left tackle. Bakhtiari's getting old. He's getting injured too much. Maybe you can get that guy from Penn State. Maybe he can drop.
I wouldn't mind it. I think we've talked about it. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the pod necessarily, but Green Bay needs to rebuild the trenches, man.
Yeah. Not on defense.
You said what?
Not on the defensive side, though.
I think we need a better nose. I mean, TJ Slayton's been okay. Devontae Wyatt needs to stay healthy. Kenny Clark's great. But I think we need safety help. I think our corners are good. I think we need a safety. I love Billy Bowman, by the fucking way.
No, that's fine.
We need a safety. I think we need to rebuild the offensive line. And might be time to go get a running back.
Hey,
I think AJ Dillon had his best game in the last 2 years. AJ Dillon looked good. He's making guys miss. He's playing well. But he's just not consistent. You know what I mean? And Aaron Jones is great. I fucking love Aaron Jones. I want him to be a Packer for his entire career. I just know financially it's not going to work out. Yeah. It's kind of, I've already accepted it. I just want the Packers to go get like a Blake Corum. I'd love to see Blake Corum in Green Bay.
He's going to be the top running back this year, in my opinion.
Blake Corum, Billy Bowman. Maybe we get just a decent. You know, I don't want Green Bay to ever draft in the 3rd round again. Their 3rd round picks have been awful, except for Jaden Reed's been. He may have been a second actually. I think Jaden Reed was a second.
Yeah.
But I just think, I don't know. The team's got a long way to go, and financially they don't have all the time to get there, which sucks. So they
Yeah.
kind of did it to themselves though. They kept kicking it down the road with Aaron and come back to bite him in the ass. But that's the last thing I have to say on that game because I'll just keep rambling and we'll be here another 3 hours and I'll say the same shit over and over again. So you wanna touch on KC and Chargers?
Yeah. So I think it was in Kansas City, wasn't it, or was it in? Yeah, it was in Kansas City. 31-17. Bad day for the over. I had the over. Fucking hate the Chargers, dude. I fucking hate the Chargers. That over should have hit. You scored 17 points. You had a chance to score more. Yeah. Chargers, they are what we thought they were.
Is it time to move on from Brandon Staley?
Probably.
I've been thinking that last couple of years. I think he's a good coach. I just don't think
Good.
he's the guy to get you over the hump.
Yeah. The Chiefs are still fucking awesome. I mean, they played.
Rashee Rice is insane, bro.
Yeah. Rashee Rice, Patrick Mahomes is still awesome. Travis Kelce is still awesome. Chris Jones is still awesome. Andy Reid, like best coach in the NFL right now. I don't think it's close.
No, it's not.
Like you can make a case for maybe Shane Steichen and the Colts just because they played above what everybody thought they were going to play.
But he doesn't have enough time there.
Yeah.
I think the best coaches in the NFL right now, it's like Andy Reid.
Yeah. Let me get your blind ranking.
So blind ranking on best coaches. I'm going to take, as of right now, the way things stand, I'm going to take Andy Reid. I'm going to take Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick, and whichever Harbaugh. Is it John Harbaugh?
Yeah.
John Harbaugh. And then
Well, no love for Arthur Smith.
No. And then 5 would probably be old dude at Philly.
Oh, Nick Sirianni?
Yes, Sirianni. And then maybe Mike McDaniel and kind of weed out the words there.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, Kansas City's still awesome. Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift, they had a new handshake. I don't know if you saw that. That was awesome. I don't
kill you.
Why you hate Brittany Mahomes? I don't have a problem with it. I've never had an issue with Brittany Mahomes. Like she's just happy that like her husband is doing well.
I think, and I don't hate her. A lot of people hate her. I don't hate her. I just she gets annoying sometimes.
Camera be on the field, right?
Yes, exactly.
Well, then
the only wife in the NFL I want the camera to ever be on is Rachel Bush.
Yeah.
Jordan Poyer's fucking wife. Yes.
Okay, so rank your top 3 wives in the NFL.
I only know Rachel Bush and then fucking Brittany Mahomes. I don't know any of the other ones.
Jackson Mahomes was up in the box. He was in Taylor Swift's box.
I'm sure he's in a lot of guys' boxes.
He was in Taylor Swift's box.
I'm fucking sure Travis Kelce was also in Taylor Swift's box after the game too. So
you know what I think it is? Why people hate Brittany Mahomes? You want to know what I think it is?
Because she looks like a foot.
It's like they have to find a reason to hate Patrick Mahomes because like he's so good and he's such a likable guy.
Yeah.
Like he is likable guys. He is so fun to watch. I mean, he's an awesome quarterback in an awesome system with a good franchise. He's won 2 Super Bowls, and you can't really find like a reason to like hate on the guy. So they're like, okay, what's the next best thing that we can choose? Oh, his wife. Yeah, let's pick on her. I don't know. It's never been an issue to me. You know, people like I talked about this last time. Like when you like pick on a player's like wife or like his family, it's just kind of weird. But I don't know
for sure.
But yeah, the Chiefs are still really fucking good. That's why they're still number 1 in the AFC for me. And then Baltimore would be second. What's the score? Minnesota game.
Minnesota won 22-17.
Okay, so we got to.
Also, Texas is up 11-3 in Game 7 right now. Bottom 9 or top 9.
Rangers. All right,
back to the World Series for the first time since they made me cry in 2012, losing to the fucking Cardinals.
Yeah, no, Josh Hamilton, man.
Cocaine Hammy.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He was so electric to watch, man.
But he was cocaine.
Him and Nelson Cruz, Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrus.
Yeah. Okay, so the Rangers are in the World Series. It's what, top of the 8th or
Top 9.
top of the 9th? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so they won the game, unless the Astros can pull something miraculous.
I mean, they'd start bringing the trash cans back out. They might.
Yeah, but I guess it'll be them and the Phillies. Oh, maybe.
I don't want to see the Rangers win that. Anyways, let's move on. Final game. Final thing we're going to touch on the pod. Philadelphia, same score, actually, funny enough. Philly beats Miami 31-17. Didn't really watch a whole lot of this game. I thought it was going to be a lot better, a lot closer than that. But, I just think, I don't know. Philly just established himself still as the number 1 team in the NFC. Knocked Miami down a peg, showed them that their offense isn't perfect. And
all right, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
Are we ready to say that the Dolphins are frauds?
No.
Really?
Their offense is way too good for them to be frauds.
See, I think they are, because the two good, they've smashed. Okay, who did they play? The Panthers and the
Broncos.
Panthers, Broncos. They've smashed the good teams. And
the Broncos are good, man. They beat the fucking Packers.
You're in denial. Cope. I love getting on social media and just seeing people say cope. After OU Texas, Texas fans were like, "Well, we could have won that game," and it was just cope. But anyway, yeah, I think I might be ready to say that they're frauds, because the two good teams they play, they get annihilated. In the box score, I always relate to the box score. It wasn't indicative of how in control Philly was, because they got that pick six. I think it was Jerome Baker got that pick six to tie it up, and then Jalen Hurts and the offensive line just marched down the field like it was nothing. So I don't know. They might be frauds. You know what? Interesting enough, the two teams that they lost to, the Jets beat. The Jets beat the Eagles, and they beat the Bills in a head-to-head match.
So is this like a 2017 UCF where they technically are national champions because they beat Auburn and Auburn beat Alabama, who won the national championship?
Well, yeah, so they were national champions. I don't know who was the national champions that year. It was UCF, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Sugar Bowl national champions.
No, yeah, they were the national champions. So I don't know. Was there another who won? I thought it was UCF.
Outside of Orlando, nobody.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Eagles are good. Miami, the Dolphins are frauds. I'm ready to say it. In a head-to-head matchup, the Jets are winning that game. I'm sorry, Dolphins fans. I think they would. I think they would annihilate them.
You think their defense is that good?
Yeah. I think that their defense won both of those games, and they should have beaten Kansas City. Maybe we're low on the Jets.
I think they have the best defense in the NFL.
They're good. The Jets are good.
I think they're the best defense in the NFL.
Imagine what they'd be doing with Rodgers right now. Oh my God, they'd be undefeated.
Yeah, fuck, man.
That's really sad that Rodgers got hurt, because I wanted to see him versus Mahomes. It's the first time we've ever seen that matchup, and now we didn't get to see that.
We're never going to get to see it. I'll just accept it at this point.
Yeah.
We're never going to get to see it.
I know. But yeah, Miami 17, Philadelphia 31. I didn't really get to watch too much of this game, but I know that Philly had control of the game most of the the fourth quarter. At least 80% of the game they controlled. Mike McDaniel, he's still a good coach. Right?
No, I certainly think he is. He's a funny fucking guy too, by the way.
Yeah, he's a little awkward, but he's funny. And then I guess we should talk about Minnesota and San Francisco.
Yeah. How about this? Jordan Addison, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's quietly one of the better rookies of the season.
It's just crazy to me that Deebo Samuel is that much of a game changer for their offense. Where when he's out in the field, they're destroying teams, and then when he's hurt, they lose back-to-back games. Yeah. This is a case for Brock Purdy, man, because he's good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he was 21 of 30, 272 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. So not a terrible game. I think, huh?
The 21 of 30?
Yeah.
Were they all dump-off passes?
No, I mean average 9 yards a pass or a completion.
Yeah, their other receivers can't do that like Debo can.
No, but I mean, so here's my thought process, and it's much like Green Bay. San Francisco cannot live and win games without getting Christian McCaffrey more touches.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 18 touches in this game, but 15 carries for 45 yards and 3 receptions for 51. But he had their only 2 touchdowns. And it's like he's just, I don't know. Christian McCaffrey has to be, because George Kittle's a good tight end, but George Kittle's not going to win you games, right? If they don't have Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk he's hit or miss sometimes. You have to lean on one of the most explosive players in all of football, and Christian McCaffrey.
Wait, hold on. We like George Kittle, right?
We fucking love George Kittle.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
But he's a great blocking tight end.
That was a very derogatory comment towards my boy George Kittle.
Went to Iowa. She went to OU, even though they didn't recruit him. But I love George Kittle. I really do. He's a football guy.
Yeah.
The embodiment of a football guy. But I just think while he is a good receiving tight end, he's not Travis Kelce. He's not Mark Andrews.
He's like both of them put together.
He's a great blocking tight end, and he just loves to do the dirty work, and he slips out every now and then. And I just think he's not a big red zone threat because he's not a big, tall guy. Now, he's big, and he'll go up and get the ball. But that's where Mark Andrews is different than him. Travis Kelce's ability to find the soft spot in any defense and just sit in it, and his connection with Patrick Mahomes, that's the difference between them two.
You want to know what I think it is?
What is it?
I think San Francisco is just one quarterback away from being a Super Bowl team, like a generational quarterback.
I think that's where they've always been.
If only they had a guy like Trey Lance,
If only they had
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. I don't know. I seriously think though that you're right though. I think they're without Debo Samuel, it really limits their offense.
Yeah.
Because of the stuff that they try to do. But the Shanahan system is very it's very Gus Malzahn-ish. He just wants to do a lot of trick plays. He wants to get playmakers out up in the space. He wants to create mismatches instead of his guys just winning plays, right? And so I think they need to do a lot more. But I seriously do think, especially over their recent history, you think back to Colin Kaepernick, you think to Jimmy Garoppolo. Brock Purdy, I think, is a pretty good quarterback, but he's not a difference maker as a quarterback. You put
Aaron Rodgers.
Fuck you. Even they had Alex Smith. You put Justin Jefferson on the San Francisco 49ers right now, they're a Super Bowl team.
Really?
Or not Justin Jefferson. Justin Herbert. You put Justin Herbert on the San Francisco 49ers right now. In the last 3 years, I think they're competing for Super Bowls more so than they already were.
He's looked pretty bad the past couple of weeks.
He has, but again, dude, that's right? The Chargers. Yeah, and he's not that healthy, and they're not that good. The Chargers are just not that good of a franchise. I think they'll always just kind of be mid.
Yeah.
I'd even argue you put Matthew Stafford on the 49ers the year the Rams won the Super Bowl, 49ers probably get 2 Super Bowls out of Matt Stafford.
Yeah, probably. Because they don't they didn't go all in like the Rams did. I mean, usually they draft players and then they'll make a big time purchase, but
yeah, like a Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he's so awesome to watch in Shanahan's system.
It's insane. But yeah, no, I think San Francisco is kind of forever just going to be a quarterback away for the simple fact they're not going to be bad enough again for a long while to be in a spot where they can go get a number 1 overall quarterback.
Well, they did draft one.
Yeah, they fucked that up.
Yeah, that made no sense, but
they fucked up their last 2 chances to get a number 1 quarterback. They fucked up. Trey Lance and Alex Smith. I love Alex Smith. I think Alex Smith was a great quarterback in the NFL, but Aaron Rodgers, Alex Smith. Now you can say Aaron benefited more from being behind Brett Favre and learning from the quarterback coaches that he had, and having Mike McCarthy early in his career. That was a huge benefit to Aaron.
Yeah.
But I still think Aaron Rodgers, even if he doesn't have those things, I think his career pans out better if he goes to San Francisco than Alex Smith said.
Probably.
But
I guess we'll never know.
Guess we'll never know. But you got anything else you want to touch on?
No, man. I think we're good. We basically covered everything. OU, UCF, Bama, Tennessee, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State video board. I hope they keep doing that.
They just need to start throwing they need to throw Hamas on there, the terrorist group in Israel. They just need to just have ISIS questions at this point.
I mean, that was so funny. That was great.
So hilarious.
What are you thinking?
I don't know, man. But I think that about wraps it up. This is a bit longer than I think me and you were both expecting, but I think it's a good episode. Please leave a like, comments, a like and a comment. Let us know what you thought. Don't necessarily have to like. If you didn't like us, let us know. At least give us a comment and tell us what we can do better and tell us your thoughts. But I think that's all good. You got anything else you want to throw out there?
I'm good.
All right, people. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.